What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna continue on with the team overview series. It's a bit delayed, but let's get on with it. So last episode I reviewed Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brighton, and Burnley in alphabetical order. So go check that video out. I'll put a link somewhere up there. Now we're gonna review the next 5 teams in alphabetical order. So Chelsea, Palace, Everton, Leicester, and Liverpool. 5 teams coming right up. And again, the video will be a bit too long, so I'll put the sequence right here so you can skip and go to the team that you want to watch. And of course, before we get into it, make sure you click subscribe so that you don't miss the next 2 videos of team overview series and beyond. Now let's get into it before we waste any more time. Chelsea, so how did they fare in the season? So they first started off with a 4-0 demolition against Man United, and then a 1-1 draw against Leicester, which they lead, and then Leicester came back. Kind of feel Leicester should have won that game. And then you move on, a 3-2 win away at Norwich, and then throwing away the 2-goal lead against Sheffield United in a 2-2 draw. So it's a pretty meh schedule on 5 points, negative goal difference, and no clean sheet so far, which is a bit ironic because 2 of my players to watch here are both defenders. I'll get that to in a minute. So how do their next fixtures look? They have Wolves away, Liverpool at home, Brighton at home, Southampton away. Again, doesn't scream clean sheets, does it? Doesn't scream clean sheets, no end. But attacking returns, it does scream. Wolves, spineless. Liverpool, yeah, that's gonna be a tight game, but yeah, I believe they'll produce a goal. Liverpool at home last season was a 1-1. Could be the same kind of result again this season. Brighton at home, that screams goals. Southampton away, screams goals. So attack is going to be at the front. So Mason Mount is at the top of people's list. I can bring him in, but I'll be a bit short on money elsewhere, so I can't bring him in, unfortunately. Tammy Abraham, 7.2. He's like the 3rd highest scoring forward in the game right now, but I still am refusing to count him as a really good option because let me put it this way, he scored 4. He scored 4 this season. I think 3 of them were down to goalkeeper or defender errors rather than his brilliance. So that's what I'm worried on. So I do expect him to regress, but yeah, the credit was due. You have to mention it because he's one of the top scorers. We gotta do it. And then so moving on, we have Emerson at 5.5. So this is one interesting thing about Emerson though. You know that ICT index part in the Fantasy Premier League. So go to the Fantasy Premier League, transfers tab, sorted by, go there, scroll down to somewhere ICT index, and it will arrange them according to the ICT index. So what's ICT index? So it's a combination of 3 things. Influence, creativity, and threat. So what are they? So this is influence is like how a player influences his team playing. Creativity, how many goal scoring chances can a person create. Threat, how likely is he to score goals and stuff. This is according to the official Premier League website. That's how they define ICT index. If you sort it according to that, Emerson is 3rd on the list, only behind Alexander-Arnold and Luka Dean, who are considered to be the 2 main sources of creativity in the whole game. He's above Robertson, he's above the likes of Zinchenko, everybody else. He's 3rd on the list. Only one problem with Emerson that I kept telling in Twitter: clean sheets. How are you gonna pay 5.5 million for a defender that doesn't get clean sheets? 0 so far, and no signs of it coming in the next 4 as well. So I'm gonna wait on Emerson. I'm gonna wait on Emerson. His attacking returns will come. His attacking return will come, no end. But I still don't trust Chelsea to keep clean sheets. And now here's the interesting thing about Chelsea though. They have 3 of the key players injured. Hudson-Odoi 6, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's now fallen to 6.4, and then the player that I called a few episodes ago, Reece James 5.0. If those 3 come back, a new look Chelsea side could be a really good one to watch. Just keep an eye on that. Just keep an eye on those 3, especially Hudson-Odoi. I've been waiting for Hudson-Odoi's price to go down since like the start of the season. He still hasn't gone down. I'll be over the moon if he goes down. 5.9 for that guy. Whoa, could be awesome. Anyways, that's enough about Chelsea. Now moving on to the second team, which is Crytal Palace. Oh yeah, so how did they start the season? So they started the season with a 0-0 draw against Everton, which was kind of a cagey game, and then towards the back end, Palace got into it. Sheffield United, a 1-0 away loss. It's a spineless game. United away 2-1. Yeah. I still haven't gotten over that fixture, not gonna lie. And then a 1-0 home win against Aston Villa, so they turned it around. Good start to the season for them. But let's look at the next four. So they go Tottenham away, Wolves at home, Norwich at home, West Ham away. So if you look at that, one thing that I see is it's going to be tough for the defense. Spurs, top 6 team, that's going to be a tough one as always. Wolves at home, they could sneak clean sheet. Norwich at home, yeah, with the way Norwich play, I don't think it's a clean sheet incoming. West Ham away, that attack is going to score. So it's going to be tough for defense. Although ironically, Banana is the highest scoring defender in the game. I won't bring him in if I were you. I won't bring him in because of the next 4. Looks absolutely tough for Crytal Palace. And yeah, that's about it. And then attack, I don't really see anybody that I can attack except one guy, Jordan Ayew 5.0. Not to start, but as a third bench substitute. Because if you have the money and if you're on a wild card, Jordan Ayew could be that third substitute because he plays ahead of like Benteke is fit, but he still plays ahead of Benteke, and he got a couple of goals in a row. Better than the likes of Greenwood at the moment, who's I've been begging to get minutes, but he still hasn't. Wickham, who's not getting minutes, and Nketiah, who's out, and Martinelli, who's never going to get any minutes. So Jordan Ayew could be the third striker. Apart from that, I don't see many options at Crytal Palace. So let's move on quickly from them to Everton. Everton, their one's an interesting one because it took them 2 games to score a goal. 0-0, 1-0, a 2-0 defeat, and then a 3-2 win. It was a roller coaster ride for Everton. One thing that stood out in the first 2 is they were the only team to keep 2 clean sheets in the first 2, and then clean sheets dried off. So that's about it. So the next 4 fixtures look something like this: Bournemouth away, Sheffield United at home, Man City at home, and Burnley away. So it's technically a good run, but with Man City snatched in between. So you gotta be careful what you pick. And so when you look at the options, they are starting to produce a bit of options. Some options are starting to come to life. Dini at 6.1 has always been an option. I nearly got rid of him, but I didn't. And then the other ones are in midfield. Richarlison 7.9 got his season underway with a brace against Wolves. Hopefully that kicks him going. It will be 5.9 is another interesting one because he got his start and he got his goal and he looked quite lively in that game. So hopefully he can live up to expectations. 5.9, he could be a real good bargain if he can find that feet and make that left wing sort of spot his own ahead of Bernard. That's one thing you got to keep an eye on. But the guy that I really want to talk about is the guy playing up front, Moise Kean, 6.8. Because although his stats didn't look that great, it was like 1 chance created, 1 shot inside the box, something like that. There was a point in the match where I thought, okay, I got to get Kean. One way or the other, I have to get Kean. Because of this, Everton were creating chances against Wolves. Every chance, almost every chance, kind of was directed towards Kean. One way or another, those chances will get to Kean. And one way or another, Kean will finish them off. In the easier fixtures, it's going to repeat even more. But Luca Dean on the left side, he didn't have that much room because of Adama Traore. Imagine if there wasn't Adama Traore and Digne had that room to go forward, a freedom that he had in like the first 2 games. Imagine what would happen. Digne assist, Kean goal, something like that. Sigurdsson, he was getting drifting wide, he was putting goals crosses in. If you watch the match, you know that they were trying to target the centre forward, which they didn't have with Calvert-Lewin. And now they're having a Moise Kean. So one way or another, Kean's gonna get goals. So if you're looking for like a second striker or something ahead of, and you can afford someone like a Pukki, or you don't want someone like a Barnes, Kean, he's up there. He's gonna have a good season. Mark my words. I'm saying it now. He's gonna have a good season. 10 goals or even more incoming. So that's enough about Everton. Now we move on to the next team, Leicester. So Leicester, they had a good start to the season. So they started the season with a 0-0 draw against Wolves, which was a pretty sleepy match, not gonna lie. Chelsea 1-1 away, I explained that match earlier. Sheffield United 2-1 away win. One of those goals by, I think it was Jamie Vardy. Yeah, that Madison ball was slick. It was filth. It was pure filth. And then you went on to win 3-1 against Bournemouth. So that was a pretty good run of results, given that it wasn't that easy of a run to start the season off with. But the tough run starts now. United away, Spurs at home, Newcastle home, Liverpool away. If I'm looking at this fixture, I'd be thinking, yeah, it's a trap. It's kind of a trap when you look at it on hindsight, because you have that Newcastle fixture. That fixture is surrounded by 3 of the top 6 sides. That's how it looks. But when you dissect it, number one factor, Leicester tend to do well against these type of teams. On the counter, Madison providing the ball, body with his pace, scoring. That's Leicester's method. On the counter, against these teams, that counter method works more than ever. And Jamie Vardy, he thrives in big games. That's number one. Number two, United and Spurs are both pretty shit now. So it's gonna be, Leicester have a good chance of winning those. That's number two. So those two reasons suggest Leicester aren't as bad as the color coding in the fixture difficulty sheet says. So I do back them to get some wins, but I would go for an attacker rather than a defender at this stage of the season. Those four weeks. Because let's look at it this way: Vardy 8.9, Madison 7.1. Those two will be the ideal guys that you want to have. Tielemans 6.4. Yeah, he has outscored like James Madison in terms of overall points this season. But when you watch like the matches and the 4 matches, Madison was impactful in all 4. Tielemans, he was invisible for like the first 3, and then boom, in the 4th match he came to life, got 2 assists, done. So that's one thing I'm actually curious about. Is Tielemans gonna get back to his last season self, or is he gonna be that inconsistent guy? That's one thing I want to keep out. But if I were to go right now for Leicester City attacker, it will be Vardy. If I can't vote Vardy, it will be Madison. Despite his blank in the last week, I still back Madison to do well in that number 10 kind of slot, or maybe even a little bit out wide. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But just not Jose Perez. Guy's a fraud. Pass it on. So that's about it. Defense-wise, I said it before, I'm not looking for a Leicester defender, but I'm keeping an eye out for Ben Chilwell 5.4. He could come into my team around game week 9, game week 10 when I decide to wildcard around that time, or if not, a free transfer in. Something I'm keeping an eye on. Soyuncu 4.5, another one of those Leicester defenders. So just keep an eye on those two, but I won't be bringing them in because of the fixture. Now moving on to Liverpool, the team with the most assets. So they started the season off 4 wins from 4, but just 1 clean sheet from 4. So I don't want to dissect their performances because we all know how they did. So we're going to dissect the next 4. They have Newcastle home, Chelsea away, Sheffield United away, Leicester at home, which is a pretty decent run. So it's a plethora of options again, but none of them are mid-price. All of them are premium options according to their positions. So they have lots of obvious options. Alexander 7.1 or 7.0, Van Dijk 6.5, Salah, Mane, all of them are good options. Adrian at the back, but the guy that I really want to talk about in this video, Roberto Firmino. So Firmino is having that sort of a resurgent season, because last season he was deemed as the guy who makes sideway passes on the halfway line with the centre backs. This season it isn't the case. He has had 17 shots, 12 of them from inside the box, has a better shot per game ratio than both Salah and Mane. Firmino standing at 4.3, Salah's 3.3, Mane's 1.8, and gives more assists than both of them. 2 goals so far, just 1 behind Mo, the same as Sadio. On top of all that, his expected goals, his XG, is currently 2.17 from 3 games. And if you compare top 6 players on the big 6, that's only behind Rashford at 3.3, Aguero at 3.11, Sterling at 3.10, and Salah at 2.71. So that suggests he's having quality chances inside and outside the box. He's getting more shots, more quality shots, goals are about to come, and honestly speaking, I might go to him somewhere down the line ahead of Salah and Mane because of the type of run. I might go for a cheaper Liverpool attacker ahead of the two expensive ones. So that's about it for me today. Another 5 teams done and dusted. Again, if you like the video series, go give this video a like so that you can see future videos. So you can pop up in the timeline, and click subscribe, hit the little bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And yeah, I'll see you in a couple of days with another episode. Until then, enjoy your international break, and I'll see you in a few days. Peace.